Hello, hello, hello. Or as I love to say, hola, hola, hola. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertaining, focused cryptocurrency content where we take old, boring, and stale information and repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. We got a jam-packed show for you today. Got all your favorite subjects. My favorite subject, AI. Also, we got some new tax implications coming down the pipeline from the Treasury and the IRS. What does this mean for you? Is DeFi doomed? And, well, we'll get into that in a moment as well. Also, we're coming to the end of the year. What does Bitcoin look like it's going to do in the final week of December? And what do we think is going to happen in the next quarter of next year? Also, crypto.com is making splashes in the sports betting space. And so, you know, I'm a big fan of Crow Token. We're going to get into what that means for the crypto.com platform, what it means for the Crow Token, and also just going to kind of give you my perspectives on all the hot stuff going on in the market. What's a good buy? Where to make money. Remember, we're in the early stages of a bull market. It is time to make money. Strap your seatbelts in. You're going on for a ride. Let's go, baby. Say hola.
I am not saying
Come on, say hola.
I'm not saying
Say it.
You can't make No.
Hola.
Hello.
All right, so we're David is still out of town. He is enjoying his Christmas break. We do got him patched in here via video call. We also got Ashley here in studio as well, and we got a super chat goal: 5 super chats of $20 or more, and you'll get a 2025 price prediction. Also, an honest opinion for the cryptos named in the super chat. So if you're wondering what 2025 will look like for your favorite project, drop a super chat with the crypto in question, and we'll get to that if we hit our goal. Now let's bring in David. What's up, bro?
What up?
Yeah,
I just want to say, Ashley, I'm really proud of you for not saying the stupid hola when he asked you. Good job. You get a raise.
Thank you.
Well, how's Big Bear treating you? Where is that where you're at, right?
We're actually about to head out. So head back to Vegas, and be back in studio on Monday.
All right. Well,
No.
I don't know. You're getting a little choppy there, huh? I don't know what you said, but let's get into the markets. So we got Bitcoin coming down to $94,200, and so take a look here. You know, kind of where kind of in the same area we were yesterday, and so a little lower. You look at the 1 week, not anything terrifying, but you know what? On the month, we are down. On the year, we're up, obviously. I'll jump right into the coin glass here on historical returns for Bitcoin. Where are we at now? And so if you look here on the top right, so this top row here is 2024. And so when you zoom in to 2024, there we go. We have this top line here is where we're at, right? So the top right corner, December, minus 2.5% is where we're currently at for the month. But this is off the back. If you look to the left of December, right? That top right box is December. That's where we're at. To the left is 3 solid green months in a row where we saw September up 7%, October 10%, November we saw a massive 37% run up on Bitcoin's price. Now, is this a pullback? Are we expecting a late rally out of Bitcoin before the year end? You know, you look historically down the line here, you know, we have a lot more red months in December than we do green. So, you know, we do have a couple exceptions. You have here a 12% run up last year. And then, you go back to 2020 was, really kicking off the bull market. So David, what do you think about Bitcoin's price action last week of December? I know we've been on opposite sides last week, or earlier this week, on what we thought was going to happen before the end of the year. I think we might have a little bit more drawdown. You were thinking that we were going to have a rally to close the year out. I mean, where do you stand on Bitcoin's price action in the next week and a half, or next week?
So I'm looking at I'm looking on CoinGlass, and if you click on weekly returns instead of monthly, you can see like the 52nd week of every year outside of the leap year. It's either a really big week or it's kind of flat, right? And so you take a look at 2021 minus 7%, 2022 minus 1.2%, 2023 minus 1.6%, and that was the year we had I think we only had 3 or 4 red months in total. And so it's either flat or it's a big move. The biggest move to the downside was back in 2014 when we saw a decline of price of 16.65%. So right now we're pretty much flat. I still think we're going to get a rally early next week. I don't know if you're going to show it, but we saw big inflows from the ETFs again yesterday. So we're seeing it time and time again. Wall Street is continuing to buy the Bitcoin dips. And I think the end of the year, people are traveling back home from the holidays, they're gearing up for the new year. Everyone's got their New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to make some more money. I want to become a millionaire. And I think that's when people start, looking into, hey, maybe I should invest some money in crypto. Maybe I should put some money into Bitcoin. So I still think we're going to get a rally next Monday, Tuesday, leading into the first of the year. But of course, anything can happen. It could be wrong because something could happen between now and then. We know there's still the global tensions, and everyone's kind of focused on the bond markets right now. With the bond market going on a run it hasn't had ever. And so we'll see what happens. It's interesting times, but again, and then you also have around 26 days before Donald Trump gets inaugurated. So I think we might see some people start to put in, I don't want to say bets, but put in positions as kind of a proxy bet to what Donald Trump is going to do in his presidency. Also, we've had some pretty bad news too, right? You had the whole tax thing you mentioned at the beginning of the show. And what I would recommend, and I've reached out to Ernest myself, and there's a form I filled out. I'd recommend call Ernest or call the company and ask them about it, and then ask them what you should do, and they'll help you out.
Well, here's a couple of things on the tax. Let me see, where's she at? Okay, here it is. I got it pulled up. So the Treasury and IRS has finalized its DeFi broker tax reporting rule. This doesn't go in effect until 2027, so I wouldn't panic and call your tax broker right now. This is still years out, and even then, it still could get shot down by the current administration before it goes into effect.
So this doesn't kick in until 2027, but the whole safe harbor thing, which I don't know enough about to sit here and explain to you, I'm not a tax professional, but it's essentially a way it has to do with your cost basis. And I think this is the final year, December 31st. So in 4 or 5 days, it's the last chance you have to file the paperwork or submit a questionnaire. I forget what it is. Again, I did it. I went with what Ernest told me to do. And so
the tax laws are ever changing. And I know that the IRS and the government is going to try to squeeze everyone for as much money as possible. So if there's any revenue being made anywhere globally, and you're a U.S. citizen, they're going to try to capitalize and take their cut. And so it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm by no means suggesting that, just be like, oh, I'm good till 2027, or hey, like at the end of the day, like if you're making substantial amounts of money in crypto, or just anywhere, right? I mean, if you're buying collectibles or rare cars, or you're selling Rolexes or whatever the hell, if you're making a lot of money outside the traditional format of like, hey, a 9-to-5 job, TurboTax ain't gonna work for you. Like, you need to hire a professional. And, if you got a lot of crypto, someone that has expertise in crypto is going to be ideal. But I don't know if you saw this headline, though, on this article, but for this one in particular, so the Treasury and IRS has finalized their DeFi broker tax reporting rule. So trading front end, so basically all the platforms that offer DeFi services would have to track and report on user activity. And then this is for both U.S. and non-U.S. persons starting in 2027. It applies to all sales of digital assets. So that also includes NFTs and even stable coins. So this is pretty damning, right? You have a tax rule coming in where they're trying to tax basically transactions, right? They want to tax DeFi transactions, which also includes stable coins and NFTs. This is, and here's just just they kind of share my sentiment. The outgoing administration is not leaving quietly. The fight continues, and so will we see more of this in the closing weeks before Donald Trump takes office? But here's where the later the rule will likely come under congressional review where it can be disapproved, like this year's SOB 121 bill. The SOB 121 bill was going to get disapproved, but then that got shot down. I would hold faith that our Congress right now will be in a situation where they can say, hey, look, you know what, IRS and Treasury are outside of their scope, and like bills like this ultimately will harm the industry. And I think that Donald Trump has spoke very passionately about crypto and that he wants it to be built here in the U.S. And basically he's trying to bring the crypto industry and that amount of money into the U.S. And things like this is basically doing the exact opposite, right? If you operate in the U.S., you're going to get taxed, even if you're just operating on a U.S. based tax platform and you're out of country, you're going to get taxed as well. And so this is what's up,
right? This means platforms like Jupiter and Uniswap would need to KYC everyone using their platform.
I mean, hypothetically, yes. Now, how far up the chain of command do they go? If it's a platform that is unable to KYC because it is 100% decentralized or damn near 100% decentralized, they don't have the capabilities. Maybe it falls on Coinbase or something of that nature. Maybe we get to a situation where you say, hey, Coinbase, money left this account. It went to Uniswap. It got swapped a bunch of times. Here's the transaction record. You need to tax this incoming on ramp or off ramp when it comes in. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's encroaching on our freedom of speech, right? Decentralization, and the fact that if I want to send somebody a basic wire transfer, I don't get taxed for it, right? The banks will get it. Banks will take their cut, right? Just in the same way that if I want to send a stable coin transfer from me to you, okay, let the platform take their transaction fee, but that shouldn't be a taxable event in the same way that a wire transfer is not a taxable event. If I send you a $100 wire transfer, don't tax me on the wire transfer. Simple as that, just to move the money.
You might get a situation where these these front-end platforms like Uniswap and Jupiter only allow you to connect with an account that you were already KYC'd on. So instead of just connecting a random wallet, they'll be like, you can only connect with a Coinbase account or a Coinbase wallet or however they want to make this thing go. Because I'm telling you right now, dude, Jupiter, Uniswap, I mean, do you really think they're going to sit there and say, okay, yeah, we'll KYC everyone versus just saying either implementing what I just said or just not even offering the services to people in the United States?
Yeah, I mean, I think you kind of leave it up to your imagination. I'm sure the government can get creative if these laws get put in place, and especially if there's money on the table. They're like, hey, look, okay, you can't KYC. Let's do this instead. And so I think there's a number of different ways. At the end of the day, you can just hit the on and off ramps. I think that's probably the thing that makes the most sense to me. Hey, you're going to cash out. How did you make that money, right? And if blockchain's transparent,
that should like I don't understand why it's so complicated. It's like if I withdraw money, if I take profit and I withdraw the money into my account, then tax me. And that's easy to prove because I can show you my withdrawals from Coinbase. But if you're trying to track every time I convert Algorand to Hedera, or convert Caspa to Bitcoin,
But then
or
you
Ethereum
get into a situation that, like, if you were to back to the same thing, like if you just tax in and outflow plus or minus, if I send you $1,000 in stable coin and you cash out through Coinbase, that shouldn't be taxed, right? And that's where you're saying, like, you got to see where the money comes from, because if you just simply say, hey, okay, Coinbase account, you deposited 10,000 and then you withdrew 20,000, we're taxing you 10 grand. But maybe I just sent you 10 grand through Tether instead of using my bank. You get what I'm saying? So it goes so deep that I don't know. I think that these lawmakers don't understand how crypto works. And so they just like, hell yeah, you know what? People are making money on DeFi. Well, we want to tax it. Tell the DeFi platforms we're going to tax it. Like they just don't understand how things work. They don't understand the implications of it. And my God, please, Congress, just step up and shoot this crap down, because at the end of the day, it's going to harm our industry. Now, I did want to. What's up?
It's all about the change. You're going to get people in the administration from top to bottom that at least understand more than what the current administration does.
Yeah.
And we'll look for ways to, common sense ways to get people to pay tax.
All right. So I did want to, since we're kind of talking about the end of the year, next year coming up, I do have one super chat in already on looking at or giving our opinion on 2025 crypto project. We'll get into those if we reach the goal, but I wanted to say for 2025, we have a well-respected financial house that releases a report annually. And so Apollo Management. So this was something here. I'll just pull it up. Just kind of get into it. All right. So you got Apollo Management. Now they dropped their 2025 risk management report. So this is something that gets a lot of eyeballs at the end of the year. They basically are, a management firm that gives you their outlook for 2025, and people, take it for what you will. They've had some accuracy with this as well, so they are well respected. So here is what they are thinking. Apollo Management has their risk management report. I highlighted a few things. If this plays out, 2025 won't just be volatile. It'll be a financial minefield. Trump's potential tariffs lead the charge. Now, okay, so the first thing that they highlighted was the tariffs that Trump is talking about putting in. And now Apollo gives a 90% chance that the tariffs will get put in. Now, I agree. I agree. I think tariffs are coming. I don't think that Donald Trump is bluffing here. Just how far reaching, how big of these tariffs are going to come down. And how does this play into crypto? Well, you know what? This is going to obviously influence the global markets, trade, GDP, how much money is really out there to invest. And we know if the financial markets take a downturn, what does that mean for crypto? We'll get into that in a moment. But, Canada, Mexico could see 25% tariffs on their exports. BRICS countries like China, Brazil, Russia, South Africa might face up to 100% tariffs. This isn't just a loose number that's been thrown out. This is per Donald Trump, what he has said when he was campaigning. He wants to put 100% tariffs. Now, there are positives and negatives to these. Now, Apollo says these tariffs could knock off 1.7% of GDP for the U.S., but the tax cuts are expected to offset the hit about 2.4%. So basically, Apollo's saying tariffs are coming in. We're going to cut GDP by almost 2%, but with tax cuts, we're expecting that to be absorbed and to have a 2.5% increase in GDP via the tax cuts. Also, they went into AI. We're going to talk a lot about AI today. AI's got a big narrative on today's show, but very interesting. And I agree 100% on this on their NVIDIA take. So NVIDIA, the darling AI boom, might crash back down to earth. I do think that NVIDIA ran pretty damn hot, pretty hard. We know that it is like one of the richest companies in the world. Now, all of a sudden, AI is a thing. They are the backbone for AI compute. And Apollo warns there's a 90% chance that the company's earnings will miss Wall Street's expectations. And, they drove the S&P 500 by 20%. So 20% of the S&P 500's gains last year, or excuse me, this current year, 2024, was off the back of NVIDIA. Let that sink in. The top 500 companies, 20% of the gains made were off the back of NVIDIA. And then also Apollo says they expect a 40% chance of inflation getting higher, CPI going up. And for that reason, that's why we saw the Fed kind of backpedal on their 2025 outlook on how many cuts, right? We were talking about 4 or 5 rate cuts. Now we're down to 2. And guess what? Fed rate hikes are back on the table as well. So I wanna ask you, David, my perspective here. I think Apollo Management's 2025 report, I think, is pretty spot on. Tariffs are coming. What is the impact of those going to do to the economy? Also, NVIDIA is probably overvalued. I think they're going to come back down to earth. What does that mean for AI-based projects in crypto? Do they follow? Have we seen the top for NVIDIA? Have we seen the top for AI and crypto? And then also you got Fed rate cuts and also inflation probably going to ramp up next year per their report. Inflation, I'm not too sure. I think that with spending coming in, I think with the market rallying and having more money into the market, Fed, I think the interest rates are going to come down still. I think borrowing is going to become easier. I think inflation does stay where it's at. I don't think inflation goes up. But other than that, I do think NVIDIA is gonna pull back. Also, I think tariffs are coming. What do you think all this means for crypto?
So if you look back in Trump's first run as president, I think it was 2017 or 18, where he started talking about tariffs and everyone started panicking. And one thing you guys got to understand is investors in the stock market do not like uncertainty. That is why during presidential election years, you see a lot of volatility. That's why when a new incoming president comes in, now I think we're going to see a little less. Part of me thinks we're going to see a little less because people know Donald Trump. He's already served before. They know what to expect. So to some degree, it's not as big of a question mark as if, say, a brand new person would have ran. Even if it was Kamala Harris, people know that administration what it did. Same thing with Trump. But I think there's so much that he wants to do with the whole Doge thing and all the new people he's got putting in. I think they're going to really try to hit the ground running with some executive orders, whether it's in crypto or anything else. You're going to see a public feud between Donald Trump and Jerome Powell as Trump tries to get Powell to reduce the interest rates to get the economy spurred. But someone did, and I think it was Peter St. Ong. He's a macroeconomics professor or teacher or just has like a PhD. He did the math on if we were to put a blanket 20% tariff or 25% tariff, but on the backside, eliminate income taxes, the GDP would grow and people would get an extra 30K in their pockets at the end of the year for not paying income taxes. And so it's a net positive. Yes, the price of goods would go up. But you'd have more money in your bank account to pay for those goods because you're not paying income taxes. Have you heard
Donald Trump speak on eliminating income taxes? I haven't heard it. I don't think that's on the table in my perspective.
He's brought it up, but it was never a detailed plan on how to do it. So maybe it was just a campaign thing that he was talking about to kind of rally his base. But either way, it's kind of
there's definitely going to be more spending. There's definitely going to be more spending going on with the U.S. economy. Obviously, there's going to be more money in the pockets of just the everyday citizen. No tax on overtime. If what he campaigned on comes to be, no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security payments, and there's a big list of other incentives that you get or money you're going to get back that currently you're getting taxed on now. Uh, Also, tariffs. Yeah, you might slow down. Think of it this way: you might slow down certain um, amounts of goods coming in, right? You might not sell as much, but you're also taxing for the United States. You're also taxing all that. So think of it this way: if you're bringing in $10 billion worth of some commodity, let's say soybeans or corn or flour or whatever it is, right? You're bringing in $20 billion worth of those goods annually, and it say it cuts down by 50%. Say it comes down to 10 billion. Now, 20% of that is still $2 billion worth of taxed that goes into the government, right? So the government is generating revenue via that way. Now, will they take that revenue and say, hey, we've made extra money now off of taxing goods coming into the country. Now we can offset that by eliminating taxes to our citizens. And instead of taxing the citizens on your Social Security benefits, instead of taxing you on your overtime, instead of taxing your tips, we're going to say, hey, don't pay us those taxes, and we'll just charge the taxes to foreign countries that are sending their products in. Now, obviously, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to global trade. So, there's things that you can't predict for. But I think it's an interesting discussion to say, like, is this going to bode well for the government, for the economy? Well, we see all of a sudden the price of eggs we saw when there was a supply shock. If there's less supply coming into the country because of tariffs, our price is going to shoot up because of it. Are we going to see the same thing? Is avocados going to become $8 an avocado from Mexico because of the tariffs? That I don't know. And if it does, what does that mean for our economy? Are the Mexican restaurants going to close down here in town? I don't know. But it's an interesting thing to think about. And, this is going to tie into crypto, because crypto essentially we need the liquidity in the stock market. We need the liquidity in retail. We need people's money to buy crypto here in the States. And so, it's something that we got to look at.
It's all dynamic, because if something becomes too expensive, like if I'm a big, you mentioned avocados, if I'm a big avocado guy and they're now, instead of spending $50 a month on avocados and spending $100, I'm going to stop eating avocados. Just like in crypto, if Bitcoin is 100K and you think that's too expensive, you're going to go down and you're going to stop buying Bitcoin, you're going to buy something else if you feel like the ROI is not there anymore. And so I think it's dynamic and it changes people's habits. But at the end of the day, and I'm not going to get into the whole plan of what he wants to do with tariffs and this and that, but essentially going to be incentivizing companies to build manufacturing plants here. I think you put a limit of, if you invest $1 billion in the US, then you don't got to pay tariffs. Or if you sign a deal to move one of your plants here in the US, you'll have your tariffs will be on hold. At the end of the day, as long as the bottom line, people have more money in their pockets, I think that's what's going to matter the most, especially when it comes to crypto. Obviously, the more dispensable income people have, the more opportunities and chance they have to put money into the crypto space, which is good for the growth, and of course, it's good for our portfolios because more people buy, prices go up. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the first 60 to 90 days when Trump gets in office. I do think this IRS rule is going to go away. I think Congress is going to they're going to review it and they're going to nullify it or reject it, right? And then Trump's going to sign off on it. But we got to remember, right? All this thing that is happening now, we're less than 30 days away from getting a new president, and we know the new president's administration is extremely pro crypto. You can take any head of any big agency that he's put in there that's going to get confirmed by the Senate, and they're all massively more pro crypto than the last administration, the current one is. And so things are looking good. Whether we want to dive deep into the intricacies of how this is going to affect this and that, I think overall, if you zoom out, it's going to be a great 2025. And I think with the people in place and what's going to happen, I think even during a bear market, we're not going to see as big of a bear market or as deep of a bear market like we saw the last cycle.
You think that with the stock market, U.S. economy, you think it'll be prosperous? Will be continuing on to a bull market in 2025? The outlook for 2025 when it comes to U.S. economy is ultimately bullish. That's where I stand. I agree with you if that's where you're at.
You guys got to remember too, bro, is everything valued in dollar is all inflated anyways, right? They just print the money. We value everything in dollars. We value goods in dollars, commodities in dollars, assets and stocks and bonds and derivatives and crypto in dollars. And so even if nothing happens, the price will go up because a dollar is meant to be inflationary. And so it's all built on a house of cards. And as long as the US remains the dollar remains a dominant currency, it's going to go up and to the right pretty much forever. I'm not saying we're not going to get bear markets or recessions or dips, but if you zoom out long enough, whether it's crypto, whatever's denominated in dollars, it's going to go up and to the right forever.
Yeah.
So.
I did want to get your take on AI though. Got a lot of AI to kind of break down today. But what's your kind of take on Apollo Management's forecast for NVIDIA coming back down to earth? We saw that NVIDIA carried the S&P 500 this year, 2024. Do you think the AI narrative takes a break, or do you think it just keeps going because it's such game-changing tech? I use AI all the time. I was talking about it last night with some friends. I'm like, hey, look at the things that AI can do. It's part of my everyday routine when I come to putting together content or creating graphics and things of that nature. And then, what's your take on AI?
Do you think right now there's kind of a lull in development and new computer chips and things people can do with AI and finding new things that they can implement AI for? Do you think that's stalling, or do you think it's growing?
In my opinion, and from my how I look at AI, is that it really went from zero to where it's at, right? So it was something new on the scene. It was something we've never seen before, right? Where you had because AI prior to where we were at last year, right? Say we go back down to 2023 or 2022, AI was, hey, you ask it a question, you get a very robotic response. All of a sudden, AI comes in. You're having conversations. It's using, it's using very human-like deductive reasoning to come to its answer, right? You can just kind of ask it general ideas, and it's not just sourcing data. It's also sourcing people's opinions globally and putting all that information together. So you can ask it a question about like, hey, what's a good technique for working out? And instead of getting like this is the exact position you need to, it'll look at everyone's opinions that's ever posted anything about working out. And it'll say, hey, this is a general consensus. This is what people think. And then it gives you a response that reflects people. Anyways, AI, I think, is plateaued on its, and this isn't just my opinion. AI is essentially, can only get so much better, right? You go from horse and buggy to car, right? It's a big jump, technology-wise, right? You go from animal-powered to combustion engine, machine-powered. But once a car comes out, once the engine is built, that big jump from animal to machine, that is huge, right? It changes everything. But then how much more efficient does the engine become? Just slightly percentage every year, right? Every year, maybe you get a little bit more miles out of it. Every year, maybe you get a little bit better transmission. And every year you get these small incremental growths. And so that's where I think we're at with AI. I think we went from no AI existing to this like robotic response to like, oh my God, I'm talking to a person. I'm talking to like an assistant that is on my computer that is sourcing data through encyclopedias and other people's opinion. And so that jump was monumental. And I think that jump represents what we saw out of NVIDIA. Now, with that said, just like the combustion engine, it's here, it's cool, it's revolutionizing the world. But from this point forward, it's only going to improve slightly over time, over year. That's why Chat GPT 3 to 3.5 to whatever one they're using now, it doesn't feel that much different, right? It's not like you downloaded the newest version of Chat GPT and are like, oh my God, bro, like this thing is absolutely crazy. No, you're just like, oh, they got a new version, supposed to be smarter. You ask a question, you get the same damn response. And so it ain't gonna be no different next year, right? It's gonna be slightly better. You won't even notice it. Just like if you got a new car for a 2020 year, and then you trade it in and get a 2021 model, you're not going to be like, oh my God, the engine is so much more efficient. Like, no, maybe you squeeze out an extra 1 mile out of the gas tank, but that's it. And that's where I think we're at. So I think the tech is plateauing. And so if they're expecting NVIDIA and AI to get the same returns that they had out of 2024, I think they're misleaded, because the tech isn't gonna explode as far as its capabilities. Does that make any sense, David? I mean, are you kind of vibing what I'm saying?
I agree with some of what you're saying, but I disagree, I think, in general. You just had, damn it, I think it was Google, the quantum computer chip, right? The first one. And so
that's years out. Quantum computing is still 10 years at least.
They released the chip, right? And NVIDIA released like a $300 supercomputer chip that's supposed to be like revolutionizing and putting it in retail's like hands and figuring, letting people do stuff. So AI is my biggest narrative and vertical that I'm keeping my eye on for in 2025, more specifically AI agents, right? This is something that the everyday person can use and it can benefit their lives. Whether it's if you're an executive assistant and maybe you don't want to pay someone to do some of the work that's kind of laborious, and you create an AI agent or you leverage one to do it. Whether it's someone who has a travel agency, right? They can now have AI agents that make the user experience better. So I think it's going to make people's lives better, and it's going to pique people's curiosity to the point where it's going to be something that's going to be on the forefront of their minds. And I think AI is going to, I think we're so far away from what, we all have ideas of what AI can be and do, but I still don't think we comprehend or at least try to understand what exactly it can do or what that would even look like. I mean, 10 years ago, you want to talk about Elon Musk saying we're going to Mars, everyone's like, yeah, that's not possible. What are you talking about? Now it's like we're talking about it like it's a normal thing. Yeah, we're going to go to Mars one day. When the thing comes out, I'm going to book my flight. So now NVIDIA as a company, sure, right? You're going to have other companies that come out, competition, as long as they're not allowed to have a monopoly over the market, which a lot of the Congress are saying they do. But AI is my number one narrative for 2025. I think it's only going to grow. And as every company races to be at the forefront of artificial intelligence, they're going to spend money, they're going to spend time, they're going to spend marketing dollars, they're going to try to market their product and what they do to kind of set themselves apart from their competition. And I think it's only going to bring eyeballs and intrigue to the AI space. And where do people go when they want to speculate on something? They go to the cryptocurrency market.
Yeah, I do think that AI is plateauing as far as what products we're seeing out of traditional technology, right? For web browser, like, hey, type stuff in. I think we're plateauing there. But what we're seeing now is AI returning meaningful value and having utility in blockchain. And so that right there is a reason that we've seen the likes of Virtuous Protocol. We've seen other AI based projects have a lot of gains in the market cap. It's off of the back of, hey, you know what? Now AI is being applied to blockchain. So what I think is that NVIDIA perhaps pulls back. The AI as a whole for web browser questioning, things like that, I think that kind of stalls a little bit. But I do think that AI is exploding in crypto. And so I do think that we have a divergence there, right? I think that traditional AI, cool, take a breather. AI and crypto, I think that it returns a lot of value, as you said, with these AI agents. And then the development in AI at a crypto it's absolutely exploding. I mean, the headlines are just one after another. Here, I'll just show you some I got pulled up. You got Tether. Tether's focusing on artificial intelligence. They're debuting their new platform in 2025. This is expected to go live in early 2025 Q1. They're gonna, tackle scalability, decentralization, and also security. Now, I won't get into the nuances of it, but they got this whole plan thing going on. So Tether going all in on AI. Also, you got Avalanche. This is from the Avalanche AI handle here. Soon we'll be releasing on what we've been working on in the past few months. Get strapped in for the ride. AI is about to be brought to life on Avalanche. So, one of our favorite projects, Avalanche. Also, you got Near Protocol, which we know is not slowing down on AI either. Filecoin coming out. Now, Filecoin has developed an AI agent. So they're getting on the AI agent train as well. Now, this is trained on Filecoin's documentation and GitHub repositories. And then, on a more lighthearted AI narrative, we also had, I don't know if you caught this, but Roastmaster 9000. So this is a bot. So this is a bot that literally just roasts people, right? It's just designed to make fun of people. That's what it was created for. Roastmaster 9000. It said, bruh, you running Cardano like she running that PhD, straight to OnlyFans when things get hard. At least you making money while the ADA holder's still waiting for smart contracts to work. Charles Hoskinson replied, I'll bite. What evidence do you have that Cardano smart contracts don't work? Be very specific. What can Cardano not do? Which Roastmaster 9000 replied, damn, Charles, you want specifics like your blockchain wants adoption desperately. I'll explain your TPS is so low. My response might take till 2025 to process. Keep that same energy for your development timeline. Now, Charles is like, shoots back. And he says, so you just changed the argument for the second time now. I would like to explain what the issues are. I would like you to explain what the issues are on Cardano Smart Contract. You're arguing with an AI roast bot. Now, also, the comments are full of people. Charles, you're literally, Charles, that's literally a bot designed to roast people, which Charles, tried to defend himself and said, at now, we're having dumb Charles arguing with a bot going viral, of course. And then you leave a final tweet off my thread. And so his final tweet was a Star Trek reference saying, I'm trying to do one of those Kirk things where he blows up the computer using special Kirk logic. And so Charles is trying to say that, hey, I knew it was a roast bot this whole time, and I'm just poking at it. What do you think? I think Charles got, bro. He got. He was over here arguing with an AI agent and getting roasted. And I think it's funny. I think it's comical. It's good.
If that post was peer reviewed and researched like everything that Cardano does is, maybe he wouldn't have engaged in it. But he knew it.
You think he knew? I don't think he knew, bro. I think he was arguing with a roast bot. And then after the fact, he was all like, oh, nah, man, I knew what I was doing the whole time, man. It's bigger. It's bigger than that.
Yeah. Dude, let's talk about Tether getting into AI by Q1. Like, if you look at Tether is the most profitable company, I think, in the world when you look at how many employees versus their revenue, right? Their net revenue, how much money they get left. And so they have a Bitcoin reserve strategy. They got to spend the money somewhere, and they're dumping it into AI. I'm telling you, you showed the Filecoin thing, you showed the Avalanche thing, obviously Near Protocol. And I'm telling you guys, AI and AI agents more specifically are going to be big. You do not want to go into 2025 without having some AI agents or AI plays in your portfolio.
And the biggest AI agent play right now, obviously, is one that we've been very bullish on, Virtuous Protocol. And this thing does not slow down. I mean, look at this, just on the 24 hours. Yesterday it was under $3 and now over $3.50. The entire market is pulling back with the exception of maybe BitGet. And the only thing that has been just continuously growing up and moving up the market cap list is Virtual's protocol. Look at the 7-day up from $2.50. Look at the 1 month up from 92 cents. Look at the 1 year up from a flat line. And so it doesn't get much better returns than this. This is something we've been talking about for well over 2 months. And so we've been trying to highlight this project. I know David's got a bit of exposure to this as well. And it's not even just the base Virtual's protocol. Their agents are now getting absolutely crazy valuations as well. You got Zero Bro or Zerebro. And so this
Zero.
is how's it pronounced?
I think Zero Bro.
Is it Zero Bro? Okay. So this AI agent, well, it's reaching that massive number, that golden number, $1 billion market cap. And so, I mean, will this thing slow down? I'll say this. I think that Virtual's protocol is overvalued at the moment, but momentum is carrying this thing. I think that it's not going to slow down. It's not going to slow down anytime soon, but I do think that it probably gets somewhere at around $5 and then it pulls back. I think that it's still going to carry some more. Maybe it gets another 2x, but I do think that this thing is just running a little too hard in too short of a time, and just markets in general will pull back.
You think 3 billion is overvalued?
I'm looking. I don't think that in totality 3 billion. I don't think that in totality 3 billion is overvalued. But when you go from 10 million to 3 billion in the span of 60 days, just how markets move, for you to move that fast and that hard up, I think that you're going to see a pullback. And it's no different than like Caspa, where you saw that go from pennies, a half a penny, fractions of cents, and then move up to 20 cents. We see a pullback. It's just a natural part of the market. You can look at Bitcoin in the early days, same thing. It goes from pennies or it goes from dollars up to hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. And then you have these big pullbacks where you go into bear markets. That's just how markets move. You can look at stock markets, commodities, whatever it is. And so how long will this rally before you get the pullback? That's the big question. My personal opinion, somewhere between $5 and $7, but a pullback's coming. I mean, it has to. It doesn't always go up and to the right for eternity.
So you think $5 to $7 billion is where you think Virtuals will end up the bull market?
I'm not sure where market cap is at this moment, but from a dollar perspective, I think it has about a 2x max out of it. And that's and I don't, and when I say 2x max, I don't mean 2x max for 2025 in the bull market. I think it gets to somewhere between $5 and $7, and then it consolidates for 3 or 4 months. That's my opinion. And I think when it consolidates, I think it pulls back down to that $2 mark, whatever it is. I could see a scenario where Virtual's protocol gets up to $6, $7. People are buying the top there, and then it crashes back down to $2 over the course of, say, 60 days, consolidates and just trades sideways for a long period of time until that narrative kind of takes off again.
Okay, sure, I can see that happening, right? Big pullback. But what is your top for Virtuals in the bull market?
I think you get. I don't think the top isn't going to come until the back half of 2025. In the same way that if we're expecting I expect Bitcoin to rally. I expect Bitcoin to get to $150, $160, $170, $180,000 within the next 90 days. I think that Trump coming out as progressive and forward thinking with crypto regulation, with the US buying Bitcoin, I think you're going to see an absolute explosion out of Bitcoin's price. Now, with that said, I think also at the same time, you're going to get a big pullback and a consolidation after the fact. And so what is my top for Bitcoin? It ain't 150 and it ain't 180,000. My top for Bitcoin is somewhere between 350 and $500,000, maybe 600,000. But that doesn't come till later in the year. And so I think that with the movement that Virtual's protocol is having right now, I think it's going to probably fall on a similar timeline. I think that you get this big rally, or the rally continues. I don't think it's going to slow down. I genuinely don't. I think there's just too much heat in the markets. So maybe the next 30 days, I would not sell Virtuals Protocol for another 30 days. At minimum, hold it for a minimum of 30 more days. I think that in the next month, you'll probably get a 2x out of Virtuals Protocol. That's my opinion, maybe more. Who knows? I'm a little bit more conservative than the average person, average degen in crypto. I am pretty loose on my my investments. I don't mind taking on some risk. I think 2x probably where I think Virtuals Protocol is going to top out, sell off, consolidate, and then off to the races again. Maybe summer of 2025, and then the top from that point, maybe $12-15. I think would be the max.
That's fair. Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. I was trying to get to what was your top of the market after the consolidation, if it happens, which I think it will. I don't know if it'll consolidate down at $2 if it's at $7, but I can see it consolidate from like $7 to like $4. But here's the thing: like as the way the ecosystem and the way that token is set up, every single token that's launched, it's paired with a virtual token, and the virtual token is essentially, think of it like a layer 1, right? And you're getting now other meme coins that are porting over, right? You had Toshi, KeyCat. Those are 2 big meme coins that ported over to virtuals. And guess what happens when they port over, Robin? They create a liquidity pool with virtual tokens. And so unless you think the AI agent narrative is going to die off, which it can, sure. And like anything can happen. If that narrative starts to take a back seat or starts to dwindle away, yes, there's not going to be as much hype. There's not going to be, but when you look at community tokenomics, what they're doing, it's a perfect setup. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to get a drawback, but I'm in the $10 to $20 billion range. I know it's a bigger range than you gave. So I think 12 to 15 bucks, I think is fair. I'm a little more bullish on the project, but I agree with you. I think 30 to 45 days, you hold on to this thing. Now, of course, like you need the money or you're happy with how many X's you got. One thing I will say is never do, like whether it's me or Rob giving our opinion, never blindly take that opinion and put it into action, right? The reason for us giving our opinions and our thoughts is for you to get an idea in your head, go out and do your own research and figure out if it's risky enough, too risky, if it's a good hold for you, if it's a good buy, if you don't believe in it. That's the idea. The idea is to not blindly listen to a content creator and go out and buy whatever token we're talking about. You're going to get wrecked doing that. The idea is to put that thought in your head for you to go do your own research and do that. But I don't know. I'm super bullish on virtuals and AI. I mean, I think I texted you this before, but we've gotten like a significant amount of money airdropped to us in our wallet from the virtual ecosystem, right? I think just holding virtuals and AIXBT, we've gotten I don't want to say the number, but it's a decent amount of money that we got airdropped. And so that's another narrative for why people are going to hold their bags. And
but these sectors do get a lot of these handouts in these sectors. Like you look back at NFTs last bull market. I mean, how many NFTs did popped up in your wallet that all of a sudden were worth, $500, $1,000? Like, hey man, because I held this NFT, I got this other NFT. It popped in my wallet, and then I was able to mint this NFT. And like at that moment in that small time window, those things held value. But once the baby, once the daddy fell back down to earth, once the main NFTs lost that significant value that they were holding, all of those airdrops or all those mints that you were gifted and all those mint passes you got and all this other crap, those just pretty much just died out, weren't worth anything. And then just the main ones were the only ones that held any value. And even then, they lost significant parts of their value. So, in my opinion, I know we land in different spots as far as AI agents. I do think it is you find more value out of the AI agents than I do. And I don't mean that they're not bringing value to the table. I just don't think that everyday individuals are spinning up AI agents. And I think that it's more of a niche. And I think there's a very small subset of crypto users that will participate in AI agents and actually use them. I think that more or less people are speculating on the price. They see an AI agent, they just throw money at it because they think it's going to blow up. I think that the actual utility of it falls short of the amount of people that plan on using it. And so for that reason, I think it's a little overvalued. But you cannot stop the narrative, right? The narrative is here. It's in your face. People are making money. Same thing with like meme coins, last bull market, even this bull market. You can sit here and say they have no value, they provide no liquidity, but people are freaking buying them. People are making money. And so I don't think people are using AI agents. I haven't used one. I know you've made one, but I know you're not actually actively using them. I know you haven't spun up an AI agent and have it doing your assistant work. You haven't done it. And so if you're super, 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 super bullish on AI agents and you're not even actively using them, I can't fathom that there's tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people using AI agents. So for that reason, I think it's more speculative than anything else. Now, is there actual use case and utility and value that it brings? Yes. I just don't think people have realized that value. I don't think people are actually using it. That's just how I look at it. I'm probably wrong. I'm wrong about a lot of things, but I do think it's just a little overvalued. I did want to move the conversation over though, real quick. Crypto.com, the Crow token, something I'm super bullish on. Crypto.com enters the betting sector with sport event trading in polymarket style. So polymarket absolutely took all the headlines when it came to betting on or futures betting, particularly with the election, for the presidential election. Everyone, CNN, Fox News, Bloomberg, everybody was talking about polymarket's odds for the election. Now, we have Crypto.com doing future-based betting as well. And this is going to come off the back of the Crow token, or at least we're expecting the Crow token to have some integral part of this. So just before Christmas, Crypto.com launched new sport event trading feature, which allows traders to bet on outcomes of sports events like the Super Bowl. Now, will this go outside of the scope of just the sports betting? Will we get into just futures on politics, other things of that nature? Maybe. Also, the new feature in the poly market style betting is it offers traders a direct yes or no decision. So instead of having over-unders that we would see in traditional sports betting, it's more about like, hey, will this team win the championship? Will this team win the Super Bowl? And so I think that this is a start. I think this is going to be a massive revenue stream. I don't think that a lot of people understand how much money went into poly market. And I think that if Crypto.com, which has their name plastered on the former Staples Arena where the Lakers play, I think they're going to do this way better than poly market. Poly market, tons of money in that ecosystem. I think Crypto.com does it better. And I think that they monopolize it better. And I think that they introduce their Crow token into their betting as well. And so I can't be more bullish for for the Crow token than I am at this moment. I'm telling you, I think that the Crow token is going to be one of the biggest gainers, period, in the discussion. Where is Crow token at on the market cap list? Cronos. This is number 34 on the market cap list. At one point, last bull market reached 80 cents. It's currently at 15 cents. And we've seen BitGet absolutely explode. There's been so many. It seems like all of these exchange tokens have performed very well. Gate token, BitGet token, FTT token, which doesn't even have an exchange anymore. These have all rallied, but yet we haven't seen Cronos have its day in the light just yet. David, I know we're about to wrap this thing up, but I'm just curious, what's your take on Crypto.com, them having futures betting, particularly sports betting from Crypto.com?
Yeah, I'll give my thoughts, and I got to hop off because we're getting kicked out of here. But I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Right now, it's fiat or Bitcoin. I can't see a scenario where they don't introduce Crow, right? But being able to make the bets and place the trades and bets with the Crow token. Also, you compare it to the poly market. Poly market is not legal in the U.S. Crypto.com, their betting service will be legal in all 50 states. The only difference is you have a centralized option versus a decentralized option in poly market. Now, you know how some people are in our space. They don't like anything centralized. Fine. But we're talking about the normies here, the people that get onboarded. don't forget either, in one of our Crow videos, I shared with you Crypto.com's 2025 roadmap. They're going to introduce bonds, derivatives, stock market trading. They're going to introduce options trading. So they're expanding outside of just buying and selling spot crypto. Crypto.com could potentially be the Amazon of crypto in 2025 and beyond. They're not afraid to spend the money. They got a huge presence. I think they spend a stupid amount of money just to get the Crypto.com domain name. And so I'm with you, man. I'm super bullish on Crypto.com and the Crow token. And so yeah, dude, I think
you're gonna
that's one of the highest upsides.
I think what we're gonna see is of rewards paid in Crypto.com token, the Crow token, and I think at that point people are gonna get exposure to it. And so I think that if you nail certain bets or you put a certain amount of bets in, whatever it is, I think you're going to get rewarded in the token. They're going to say, hey, here's some Crow token. Thank you for participating. We see it all the time, right? You go to the sports book here in Las Vegas, you put in bets with cash, but then what do you earn? You earn points in whatever platform they use, right? And so we'll see you later, bro. I know you got to head out, but we'll see you Monday, bro.
I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks, Rob.
All right, man. All right. So, yeah, I think if you haven't got some exposure to Crypto.com, I think it's going to be it's one of my favorite plays this bull market. But I don't know. We'll see. Real quick, I did want to get everyone's suggestion. I know on where the price of Bitcoin is going to be on Monday. So, Ashley, you've been quite quiet over there. How you doing?
Listen, I got this medicine ball tea thing, right? I thought it would help me out. However, I just found out it's chamomile tea. So I've been fighting that this entire time.
Oh, you sleepy?
I'm so tired right now. Falling asleep.
Chamomile, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna attack me. But anyways, what's Bitcoin at right now?
$94,322. What do you think it's gonna be on Monday?
Last week?
I think you were the closest, yeah.
I'm so good at this game. Is that 94?
Yeah.
I'll say 96. 96, 1, 2, 3.
96, 1, 2, 3. Chase, what do you think, bro? How you doing back there?
Chilling. I'm a little more bearish. I think I'm gonna go with like 90, 93.
93?
Yeah.
I think we're at 92.5. I'm also pretty bearish. So I'm a little more bearish than you are. So 92.5, I think, is where we're at on Monday. Ashley thinks that we rally up to 96, and then you think we're at 93. So we'll see where we come in. Now that's gonna be it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. Merry Christmas again. I know it's a couple days removed, but thank you for spending your holidays with us, and looking forward to next week, next year. And make sure you come back and check us out on Monday. Also, we have an ICP video dropping in 1 hour, or less than 1 hour. So make sure you check that out as well. And then till next time, thank you for watching. Tornado thing out of here. Let's go.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Let's go.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.